Hello people of the internet and my fizzies, and welcome to a brand new special video I have up for you today. A couple of days ago I was thinking about some video ideas since, you know, it's Christmas break and everything and I have time to make a couple of videos while I'm still on the break. And the first thing that popped up to my mind was something to do with music, so I decided maybe I should give my personal opinion on my top 10 favorite singers slash artists. Now before we get started on this list, I want to say a couple things to make it clear. The first thing is that this is completely biased, which is pretty obvious since this is my personal list. So these artists have nothing to do with how well they're doing or how they are doing in the music industry. These are just my personal ones that I have been listening to a lot lately. And most of these artists are pop singers slash electronic, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Also, the other thing is that just because most of my artists on here are pop singers doesn't mean that I don't like anything besides pop. It just so happens that all of these artists are pretty much pop singers slash electronic or whatever, and I like it, okay? For some reason, I really like artists with high vocals. I don't know why. It just appeals to me. Oh yeah, one other thing. When I'm going to list these artists, I'm pretty much just gonna give a personal background of my opinion of them, my history with them, and all that stuff, and maybe why I like them and all that stuff. Anyways, enough of the chit chat. On to the countdown, starting at number 10.
This much. All the girls stomp your feet like this. Few times you've been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that, 'cause it ain't no holler back girl, ain't no holler back girl.
Ah, Gwen Stefani. You remember her? You know, she used to be really popular back in the day, and I actually heard she's still doing music, or at least I think so, but I don't listen to that. So the first time I actually ever heard of Gwen Stefani was back when I was, I don't know, like 4 or 5. It's been a pretty long time, but she was one of the first artists I've actually was getting into. And back in the days, I used to be a dancer, and by that, I used to take classes and everything and actually do dancing and stuff. So Gwen Stefani was one of those artists that I like to dance to in the living room just over and over again because, I don't know, there was the only thing there, so I was like, might as well put it in and dance to it. So the only reason that Gwen Stefani is on this list is because I've had some history with her in the past. So she's kind of like a part of my childhood. So if that wasn't the case, she probably wouldn't be on this list. But either way, she's a good artist. Just, you know, she's a little different. And now we get on to number 9, the only non-female artist. You know, I don't have a lot to say about Maroon 5. Mainly the fact that just, again, it's another childhood artist, or I guess band that I've listened to. They're always on the radio in the car, and I always jam to that. They always produce like really good music. Like they produced a lot of one-hit singles, and they were just a fun band to listen to, even with friends. And still to this day, I still listen to some of their old songs. Maybe not so much before, but they're always like good to, I guess, like reminisce about or something. And what I love about it is that no matter what age group, it seems that anyone knows Maroon 5 and at least can actually enjoy their music. So just because of them being iconic and everything, and also having all these one-hit singles, they've kind of grown on to me being the number 9 of my favorite artists currently. But again, I don't have a lot to say about them, so we're gonna go straight to number 8.
Then I'm off to the races, cases, up a party chasers, chasing me all over town. Casinos I'm wasted, facing time again on Rikers Island and I won't get out.
Lana Del Rey. Just the name itself is cool. So my history with Lana, it's a pretty short history because I've heard her a long time ago. I think back in 2013, I believe. It was just another artist that I've heard about on Twitter, and I just discarded it and didn't really think about it. And I'm not kidding, it took me 3 years to actually get a little bit into her music. Now, I'm not saying she is a bad artist, I'm just saying that she's really different with like her music style. A lot of her songs are very, very slow. And you know, with pop music, it's different. I mean, at least to me, most pop music isn't really slow to me. That's just how I grew up with it. Because when I grew up, most pop music was like fast and everything, or at least, you know, normal speed and everything. Yeah, I started getting a little bit into her music starting in 2016. I'm not that into it, but she's still at number 8 because she has really good vocals. But anyways, on to number 7.
There's a place downtown where the freaks all come around. It's a hole in the wall. It's a dirty freak for all. And they turn me on when they take it off. When they take it off, everybody take it off.
KE$HA. That spells Kesha. Now, if you're living in our generation and you do not know who Kesha is, then I have no idea where you've been. Now, as for history with Kesha, I've always loved her. I think around when she premiered, I don't even remember the year. It's been quite a long time. But I remember when she first debuted with her song like TikTok. Well, it wasn't her first debut song, I don't think. But when I heard TikTok, I was into her. And just like most people my age at the time, people loved Kesha just because her music was just so fun to listen to and they were so energetic. You can just listen at any time at a party or something. But that's what's so interesting about her. She seems kind of generic, but yet so unique. It's really interesting. But after hearing about the court case and everything, what happened to her in 2016, my respect for her and listening to her has really grown on me. Now we get to number 6. Adele. Now, as for my history with Adele, listening to her, I don't even remember. She's another childhood artist, and she's still an artist that I listen to today. Adele is just one of those unique artists that just so happens to stay alive in the media and popularity throughout the ages. Like seriously, I always hear about her ever since I was like a child, always news about her and everything. She just seemed to always stay relevant because her music was always great. I mean, like I can feel so much emotion in her voice. And it's crazy. I've also seen some of her recent concerts, like some video clips and everything. It looks lit. I also really like her accent. I've heard her talk before, and it just sounds so proper. But yeah, a lot of people say she's really overrated and everything, but honestly, I don't care. She's a great artist, and she has great vocals, and she's got everything. And now we get to the top 5. These artists I've definitely picked in the top 5. Some of them are kind of hard, but you know, I can definitely talk about these artists. Coming to you at number 5.
Got me calling out for help. SOS, please someone help me. It's not healthy for me to feel this way. Oh, you are making this hard. I can't take it, see it don't feel right.
Oh, Rihanna, where to begin with her? How about the fact that I don't even remember when I even started listening to her? It seemed like I've always known her. I guess the pinnacle of when I actually started listening to her music was probably back in 2012. And believe me, I know she's a very overrated artist and she's also very controversial with a lot of her stuff. I'm very aware that she doesn't really make a lot of her songs, or at least the ones that are very popular and everything. She gets them from lyricists and everything. I think that's the right word. It's still undeniable that she has a great voice. Now, as for her music, I especially enjoy her old songs and everything. But I still enjoy her new music on her album Anti. Just I have a little bit better connection with her old music and everything. But that's probably because it's just been a part of my childhood as well. So a lot of these artists are really part of my childhood, but yeah, I just feel a little attached to that. And now we're gonna get to number 4, someone that you probably would have guessed.
Crazy, they make me feel same. I'm nuts, baby, I'm mad. The craziest friend that you've ever had. You think I'm psycho, you think I'm gone. Tell the psychiatrist something is wrong.
Melanie Martinez. She used to be my second favorite artist back in the day, around when she released Cry Baby. I was actually pretty late when that album came out and I started listening to it. But anyway, she used to be one of my top favorites. She went down a little bit, but not by much. So how did I discover Melanie Martinez? It was the same thing with Twitter. You know, the same thing as Lana Del Rey. And ever since then, I just started listening to her. But so far, she pretty much just has one album, and she also has some singles too, and covers and all that stuff. But I will say, her album Cry Baby, I've listened to that so many times, and I even saw her in concert in Houston. It was back in like May or April, I believe. But I guess another thing to say about Melanie Martinez is that I'm mostly impressed with her covers for some of her songs. Like, I listened to some of her covers that she did on The Voice when she was competing and everything. They're pretty freaking good, I will say. Like, you know, she can do a lot more with her voice than she can on the album Cry Baby, and I hope that she does that in her next album. But now we're gonna get to number 3, someone that I quite enjoy. Sia. That was so stupid. I don't know why I did that. But yes, Sia. I freaking love her. I don't even know where to begin with her. I guess the first thing is that the first time I ever heard about her was when she released her, single Chandelier, and that's when everyone started to hear about her. But what I didn't know is that she used to actually be an artist, and then she took a long break, and that's just kind of amazing. Because after you hear about her story and her struggle and everything, it's pretty inspiring, honestly. There's so many reasons why I love Sia. I think one of the biggest things is that she has one of the best vocals I have ever heard in my life. Her voice is power itself. I also like a lot of her meanings in her songs, all of her messages and everything, and I quite enjoy them. So now we're gonna get to number 2, which is an artist that I can't stop listening to. Seriously, I have like a problem with her. Marina on the Diamonds. But yes, Marina. I freaking love this girl. Not just the fact that she resembles a goddess, but mainly the fact that I love her music. So when I first heard about Marina and the Diamonds, it was also on Twitter, and then I discarded it ever since. But now back to present time. I listen to Marina and the Diamonds all the freaking time. Currently, she only has 3 albums, which is The Family Jewels, Electra Heart, and Fruit. Now, you may be asking, why do I like her so much? The first thing is that her lyrics are some of the best lyrics I have ever heard in any songs of this generation. And I'm not trying to exaggerate, and there probably are better artists with better lyrics out there, but these are ones that I can connect to the most, and they're just not so generic. I mean, it seems like every song that she produced is something just so unique and fresh to me. But also another big reason why I like her is that she's actually a cool person. I've seen her do a lot of interviews and everything, and she's just always really seems fun to talk to. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about her. She's just freaking amazing. Anyways, we're gonna get down to number 1. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can predict this artist, especially because I dedicated an entire video to her just recently. Lindsey Stirling. Yes, the same person who is an icon on YouTube, the same person who makes music with her violin. Like, seriously, the name itself, and anyone ever mentions that name, I go like, crazy. Boy. But I guess where to begin? The first time I heard about Lindsey Stirling was on like a top 50 list, I think, of like the most like viewed videos on YouTube of like 2012 or something, and one of the videos on there was Lindsey Stirling music video Crystallize. Now, unlike all the artists on this top list, when I first heard Lindsey Stirling, I was instantly hooked. But yeah, ever since 2012, I've just listened to her nonstop throughout the years. I've never gotten sick of her in all of her 3 albums. But of course, the main reason why I like her is her uniqueness. I mean, how many artists do you know out there that plays the violin using electronic music at the same time and are just as successful as her? I mean, seriously, she has full out concerts throughout the world and everything, and she's incredibly popular on YouTube. Seriously, when I met her in person, she was freaking awesome. She was so energetic, she was so friendly. Everything about that I imagined about her being was just spot on. But she's also really inspiring, her story and everything. She's a very inspiring person, and she's now become one of the most inspirational people for me and everything. I look up to her. I don't look up to her, to become a violinist and everything, but just all of her hard work, all of the work that she's done up to this point is very inspiring to me. But anyways, those are my top 10 favorite artists. Again, this is a really biased opinion. These are just all of my favorite personal artists. And if you have some artists that I didn't mention or anything, then I'd like to hear it and hear about your opinions and everything. I probably like them. There are not a lot of artists I actually hate. Iggy. But seriously, I'm really open up to a lot of artists and everything. So I'd like to hear your opinion. But anyways, that's the end of this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you can like, favorite, subscribe, and become a FIZZY today. And I'll see you guys in the next video that I try to come up with. Who knows what it is. Anyways, guys, bye!